Jon Jones has been talking a lot again. Should he finally be stripped of his heavyweight championship? Is the welterweight division the most exciting division in the UFC currently? And has Topuria leaving his gym changed the dynamics of his career? People, it's that time of the week again. Combat Catch Up Live with the two legends, Luke Tanner and Jamie Phillips. Let's get into it. Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, please do smash that like button, subscribe. If you're new, also do the same for Luke and Jamie's channels. Links are in the description. Boys, Mr. Jones has been talking and talking and talking yet again. He came out recently and said that if the UFC strip him, he wouldn't care. You're barking up the wrong tree, he said, and the UFC know his plans. They've just not communicated it to the public. However, on Instagram today, he was on someone's show and he said he's done with fighting. Guys, is Jon Jones trolling, or do you think he's just done? And if so, will he be stripped of that belt?
No, I don't know. I really don't know. I think they should strip him out of a matter of principle, because you see, be stripping of the champions.
On that, Lou, I'm gonna play. By the way, I don't want Jones to be champion, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
It hurts me to even do this, but Jon Jones last defended in November, and the reason why the other guys have lost their titles or vacated or been stripped is because they're moving divisions. Jones isn't. Why should Jones be stripped?
Because he doesn't want to fight.
Technically, he said he does want to fight. He just wants more money, and if he fought more recent than Aspenol.
I want to know if the UFC's called his bluff. They're going, all right, then we'll give you the money. And he's gone, oh shit! Didn't expect them to give him the money, but still don't want to fight because it's a dangerous fight. And now he's backtracking and saying that he's done. Then whether or not the UFC has actually gone, you know what, John, we'll give you your fuck you money. And let's make the fight happen. And what happens if he's gone, shit. Oh, well, I'll just do this certain thing in Thailand and stuff like that. Just say that I'm done. Possibly, but...
Potentially.
He's mentally exhausting Aspenol. I didn't know if not anyone watched Mighty Mouse's podcast.
I've got the quote here, I believe. I'm going to read it out. This is very telling, and this is from Tom Aspinall. He says, it's kind of difficult mentally, but this is a fight against Jon Jones. The fight is another thing. This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. It's tough sometimes.
Or is this part of the game plan?
I was just going to say, is this Jon Jones trying to mentally F with Tom Aspinall?
I think John's just a troll at life. You know, like you see him in Thailand and all that. You hear all this now. He's just trolling, man. This is what he does. He's the ultimate MMA troll. I feel for Tom. I think Tom
wasting the guy's prime because
I think
they're scared to lose. That's not a go.
The problem is it's all about promoting. Yeah, again, Dana not promoting anymore. Like he's going to promote a boxing fight, but he's not promoting anything.
Dana's been dropped from that. We'll touch on that later, but he's being
and promoting is just not his strong point anymore. He doesn't know how to do it. Like, the problem here for Tom is that he's got literally no one else to fight because it's cleaned out the division apart from Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
I think Jon wants Tom to fight Cyril Gane before Jon fights, personally, because he's hoping that Cyril Gane wins and they just
You
rematch
can't
Cyril.
really give Tom Cyril because Cyril got a dodgy decision against Volkov, where even Dana told Volkov, "I thought you were on the fight."
And then he's done nothing for Volk since. Like, he's just dusted him off. So Cyril Gane's literally the only guy in that top 10 that Tom's not fought. So
him and Jason Almeida, but Almeida's low in the ranking.
Yeah, Almeida's but this is the issue with Tom. Heavyweight division is so bad, even if Tom becomes champion, there's no one for him to defend against.
Yeah.
Because he's beaten everyone already. So Jon Jones knows this. So he's just trolling, man. He knows Tom's got nowhere to go. He's biding his time. And the UFC are letting him. This is the issue. For me, if he's not fighting, if he decides he's calling it a day and he's just trolling it, if I'm Dana White and I'm UFC right now, I'll go, enough's enough. It's called his bluff on this. Yeah. And we call a fight for New York City in November. We call that fight. And if he doesn't make that fight, then he's stripped of the title. And then we make Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall for the vacant heavyweight title in New York
I need
City.
to see some, I wouldn't say consistency. Like, not gonna lie, it was quite refreshing to see, Ilya, vacate the belt so he can move up, and to see Islam basically vacate or strip the belt before moving up. Like, I quite thinking, okay, maybe we're moving in a different direction here. But no, this is peak Dana White privilege at his finest. Where was this cutoff date that Dana said that they were going to give Jon to sort of make a decision or to make it for him? Like, when
no such thing, probably no such thing.
Like, when? Because Tom Aspinall's been out of the octagon for, it's going to be near to a year, where he only fought for about a minute.
And he has to stay out of it because, again, who the man's going to fight? Unless it's Cyril Gane, there's no one for Tom to fight. I think if Tom was given a fight with Cyril Gane, I think Tom might take it now, because otherwise these guys just keep waiting. At least it's a fresh fight for him, an exciting fresh fight for him that he can do. And if he beats Cyril, then there's nowhere to hide. I just think
Gane, or it's Jason Almeida Gane to Almeida's 6.
Yeah.
Is it dangerous for Tom to take another fight though? Because let's be real, Tom's been focusing on Jon Jones, probably training for Jon Jones and his body type.
Yeah,
that recipe for disaster for Tom.
I think Cyril Gane's a fight you can take because he's just got no ground game, and I think Tom could just take him down and just destroy him. But we're gonna have to get. I think Tom Aspinall will fight in New York City in November. I just don't know if Jon Jones will be the opponent. So the UFC have got to call his bluff, man. They just got to go, right, you're fighting in New York City.
I think they have. Part of me, it feels like that this is probably one of the biggest fights the UFC can put on. They've dropped the ball yet again with Islam Ilya. I reckon that they have called his bluff and they've gone, okay, we'll give you the money. Yeah. When do you want the fight? And Jon's gone,
Jon wants
I'll get back to that one. And then he's bounced off to Thailand.
Yeah, and now they just have to fake. Then they just have to strip him. They just have to strip him and go, look, enough's enough. We're going to make.
But the danger of stripping him is that, let's say Tom wins the belt and he defends it. All you're going to get is Jones doing this after every single defense. Well, you can't be the true champ because you never beat me. Like, I got stripped of the belt. So you'll have that
question, guys.
Constantly.
Wild take. Do you think Jones potentially cuts down to 205?
I don't think he can anymore.
All right, hear me out.
I think he can, because I don't think.
When he's in Thailand, he sent out a message saying the food here is so nice, so clean. I'm eating more, but I'm losing weight. I don't know how.
Has anyone seen picture proof though?
He does look a little bit slimmer, but yet again, like when we look at Jones at heavyweight, have we gone for? Look, he's really bulked up. That's a proper heavyweight.
No, he just put on fat. He just put on fat.
Or have we gone? Fuck me, he looks like a fat light heavyweight. And we've gone, fuck me, he's a fat light heavyweight.
Do you know what? I think John back in the light heavyweight division is dangerous now for him.
I think he destroys everyone in that division still.
Who's in the light heavyweight division?
Well, you've got
Alex,
Ankalaev as champ.
Ankalaev,
I don't know.
Yuri.
I don't know if he beats Pereira and Ankalaev.
Yeah.
I'm saying right now, I don't know if John beats Ankalaev at light heavyweight
All right,
because of Ankalaev's grapple game.
2 questions, guys. Is Jones waiting to see what happens in the rematch with Pereira and Ankalaev to see if Pereira says he's going to move up? Because if he moves up, that's the fight for Tom Aspinall.
But when are they going to make that fight, though?
I don't know.
If it wasn't going to be International Fight Week, you're looking at probably October, Abu Dhabi.
August.
I don't
August,
think that.
October.
I don't even think that rematch.
I think August is sort of.
I don't think Ankalaev fights Pereira next. I think for Ankalaev fights a new opponent.
Interesting. And then the second question I have.
319 is August, and that's Duplessis Hamzat.
That's a point. Wild take here. Are the UFC not able to strip Jon Jones because of how Dana White has positioned and spoke about Jones in the last couple of years?
Yeah, has backed him into a corner. Of course. Of course.
And if so, you're not going to strip Jones.
You can't.
What happens in the heavyweight division?
The heavyweight division dies. Well, it's dying a slow, painful death. You're arguably wasting the prime of probably one of your best heavyweights that you've had rock up in a long time, looking like the real deal. You're wasting his prime. It's not fair on Aspinall's career. Look, like if Jones is done, strip him off the belt and let him enjoy life, be a troll, retire, try to keep out of trouble, which he probably can't do, and let the division move on, man. Let it move on.
It has to. This division needs to move on.
What is
my worry is
doing for him? It's not benefiting his legacy. It's making it for me. It's sort of damaging his legacy, holding on to the belt. Because why are you holding it on for? Because people are just calling you a duck.
I don't think he cares, Lou. That's the sad thing. I don't think he cares.
No, my worry is though, with Tom, is that say he gets to fight with Jon Jones in November at Madison Square Garden, which hopefully is the case, and Jon wins the fight. I think it'd be very hard for Tom to get over that, emotionally and mentally, because
pretty much
he's done unless Jon Jones decides I'm retiring and vacating the title. He's he's not going to rematch Tom. So Jon will then go on to the new contenders after that if he wants to fight again.
He'll be waiting for.
If he don't want to fight again, he'll drop the title, and then Tom's got to have to fight for a vacant title. That against, as you say, Almeida and Cyril Garner are probably the two better athletes in that division.
Technically, shouldn't he just be upgraded, Jay?
Who should
obviously he wants to win it from Jon because that's sort of stuff that
I think he said he just wants the belt now. He doesn't care about the Jones fight. He just wants the belt. Because
let's think about it, guys. A vacant title only really becomes a thing if one of the previous champion has given up their belt or been stripped, and then 2 people are fighting for the belt who don't have belts. Tom is not only an interim; he's an interim who's defended the belt. In the same way, Robert Whittaker was upgraded to middleweight champion.
He's not interim anymore, though, is he?
Is he? No, he still is.
Can't be interim when the champion's defended his belt.
No, but you're right, Jay. You're right, but they've changed the rules here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's like in the rankings,
he's not an undisputed champion. He is a disputed champion.
Where's the only disputed champion in the UFC at the moment?
I don't think they just give him the belt. He'll have to fight for it. I just don't think they give him.
I think they have to, Jay. Because remember when GSP won the belt and then he vacated. Robert Whittaker was the interim, and they just upgraded Whittaker's championship. Same with Renan Barão as well with Dominic Cruz. Remember, this isn't Tom's fault why the fight isn't happening, and he's defended the interim belt. Renan Barão defended the interim belt, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Whittaker defended the interim belt against Romero as well. or it may have been or the rematch may have been for the undisputed belt. Either way, you're right, Jay, in the sense of everything you're saying is spot on. But because the UFC are making up the rules as they go along and going back on the precedent of what they've done previously, that might be what they have to do.
If I hope they do that, but I just have this feeling. See, I think Tom's fighting at Madison Square Garden in New York in November. I think he fights on that card. I think he either fights Jon Jones or he fights Cyril Gane for the heavyweight title. It's got to be one of them two fights.
You see, you said Ankalae's next opponent might not be Pereira.
Oh, it could be Pereira.
I think it could be Aspenol versus Pereira at Madison Square Garden.
It could be
for the heavyweight belt.
Could be. I don't like British.
That guy undeserving.
Well, think about it, guys. Pereira didn't take the Ankalaev fight, and how often has Pereira turned down fights, even at short notice?
I think he's
had the opportunity to get his belt back. When he lost against Adesanya at middleweight, what did he do? He said, "Cool, I've had my run there."
Went out of division. Yeah.
I mean,
the thing with Pereira, he's coming to MMA at an older age.
He ain't got time to waste.
He hasn't got time to keep going with certain fights. And I think he's very ambitious, and he's gone, I've done middleweight, I've done light heavyweight. I'm going to be a smaller heavyweight, but I can fill out my frame to be a heavyweight. I could see that as a possibility. I I mean, it's a massive fight. I mean, I think it's a very one-way fight. I think Aspenol just deals with him. But on the marquee, Pereira versus Aspenol for the vacant heavyweight title would be a huge fight. And I think Pereira, I mean, it's a money fight as well, which I keep saying this time and time again with UFC. Not for every fight has to be a title fight to make sense. Do money fights, do big fights. You know, we don't have that in UFC anymore. That's why we've got those shit cards.
Yeah.
So, you know, it didn't even have to be for the heavyweight title. Make it a chant like a number one contender. Like, I don't care what you do. Make it just open challenge fight. Pereira versus Aspenol. It headlines a pay-per-view. People will watch it. You know, and the more them fights happen, you know, Dana has just got someone's got to step in and just go, you know what, let's just take the heavyweight title off Jon. He doesn't want to fight.
I'm wondering if Hunter is the one that's saying, "Come on, Dana. Come on. We need to start moving things on." And Dana's like, nope. Because by the looks of it, it's Hunter that's the one that's flying across the world, meeting managers. I'm sure we'll touch on welterweight. Went to see Ali Abdelaziz and Islam and stuff about plans and stuff like that. Seems that Hunter's the one that's making the moves behind the scenes. I'm wondering if Dana's like, nope, don't want to do it. Don't want to do it because I don't want to look like that I was wrong.
I don't understand why Dana don't. Sorry, Joe.
So in boxing, you have a mandatory challenger, don't you?
Mm.
I think they need to start putting mandatory challengers in MMA, especially in UFC. This is the one thing I would change, because then titles have to be defended. If you don't defend it, you have to vacate it.
Yeah.
We need, so it don't like, so if it's very hard to be an unanimous, like, hold all the belts in boxing now, because the IBA or the WBA or the IBF will come out and go, you need to defend, you've got a mandatory challenger, you need to defend it. And they go, I'm not going to defend it, I can't be bothered, I've got all the belts. I put, like, Thingy put his IBF up and you got a new IBF champion, ain't you? So I think in UFC they need mandatory challengers. Forget the rankings, just have a mandatory challenger. And if you can't fight your mandatory challenger, say you got a fighter, so it hasn't got anything to do with the rankings. I'm going off topic and maybe a little bit.
Go for it.
So say you've got a fighter, who's on a 6-fight win streak, but he's not entirely highly ranked, but the number 1 and 2 have already had their title fights, because that's the way the rankings work. But the guy's on a 6-fight winning streak. He becomes a mandatory challenger for the champion at the next pay-per-view when that champion fights next, that he has to defend against. If you don't defend it, then it's vacated, and then the mandatory challenger fights the ranked number 1 fighter in a vacant championship match. I know it sounds a bit weird, maybe a bit confusing, but I think it will move titles on quicker and stop all this you know, I'm going up a division by keeping that title. I don't want to vacate it. I'm going to keep that title, but I don't want to fight this guy, or the guy at my gym because we're friends and do occasional shopping together, or any of this sort of thing. Then you can keep divisions moving. People get opportunities. Divisions keep rolling and rolling and rolling. We get more exciting fights. You get underdog fights where an underdog can win a title. Like Matt Serra basically won. He won Ultimate Fighter 4, which gave him a number one contender fight against the champion of their division.
Yeah,
that's basically a mandatory challenger because Matt Serra shouldn't be fighting St. Pierre. Do you know what I mean? And he beat him. It's an underdog victory, and you get stories and stuff like that, and it keeps things moving constantly. I don't know about that idea if it would work in MMA, but
I think
they
could.
need to look at something like that.
But they don't respect the rankings, Jay, and they make up the rules as they go along. Case in point, Ilia Topuria vacated his belt and said, "I'm going up to fight the champion. I cleaned out my division effectively. I beaten 2 goats. I'm going up to fight Makhachev." Makhachev came out and said, "I'm not fighting Bilal, but I'm waiting to see what happens because I want to go up to 70." In the time you're waiting for Bilal, that fight should have been made. Because Islam Makhachev can still go up to 170 regardless of whether he wins or loses. That fight should have still been made.
It doesn't hurt people's careers to make these fights, even if they lose.
And that's part of the issue.
I think fighters are scared of losing there as well. I think fighters are trying to protect.
Look at Sarukian, for example. Sarukian lost out on the fight because of an injury. He said the UFC reckons he could have still fought. What's happened with his career now?
Yeah, they try and protect
he must have pissed off Dana. We've seen fighters sort of pull out on the day or a couple of days before, and I've not seen them get treated like Arman Sarukian.
Justin Gaethje was going to get the title shot ahead of Sarukian. Gaethje.
And this...
Gaethje's pissed that Oliveira got over him.
It's just a problem with this company at the moment. They're just all over the shop. There's no... I was watching MMA Guru and Mighty Mouse. Has anyone seen it yet?
No, not yet.
Fantastic show. Yes, fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic. And MMA Guru put it correct. There's literally no story. Even Thingy said it. There's no storylines in MMA.
You've been saying this for months.
There's none. There's none. And because Dana's not promoting
at WWE whatsoever, can't take the entrances, can't take even some storylines, the venues.
It's become boring.
Look at the storylines back in the day. And also, I think fighters are protecting their win-loss records more than they ever did in MMA now.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you used to see, like, your great UFC fighters, our great legendary MMA fighters, their win-loss records on paper look shit sometimes.
They're not undefeated.
Yeah, but they fought the best. They fought wars. They fought the best of the best. Look at Vanderlei Silva's win-loss record. It might look really bad on paper. Look at the fucking fights he had in his career.
But same with boxing, though, bro. Look at the 4 kings.
I blame Floyd. I blame Floyd because most of these fighters came up during the Floyd era. Oh my god, he is the best. I've got to stay undefeated. Got to stay undefeated. Got to stay undefeated. Got to stay undefeated.
There's a few throwback fighters who are like that now. There are still a few throwbacks.
Gaethje's like it because he just
Poirier as well.
Yeah, Max Holloway. They will just go in and fight. But I think these younger fighters coming through, the new generation, I think they're protecting their win-loss records more than MMA fighters ever used to.
Yeah.
And what it's taken away the spectacle a little bit because you get a lot of easy fights with a lot of stars now, don't you? Let's face it.
Do you know, I was going to do things slightly different. While we were speaking about the UFC, one of the topics is a lack of competition hurting UFC? Is it bad for MMA? We've seen what's happened with Bellator. Obviously, they've gone under. They were sort of taken over by PFL, but PFL ain't really doing great things. It's not done well at all. Like they've got PFL. They had Paul Hughes on the PFL card, and it was barely promoted, and
no one knew it was happening. That's face it.
PFL Africa's been announced. France Ngannou's not on the card. It's like
what?
Yeah, you're getting the basics wrong.
Hang on, the biggest African fighter is not the African card. What's the point? What's the point?
And then you look at one FC. One FC, here's a killer. One FC puts on some great fights. It's just not promoted very well in this part
I
of the
love
world.
One FC. One FC also do
Muay Thai fights.
Muay Thai fights as well, don't they? The Muay Thai fights.
Like Hegarty, for example, is a beast, but it's just not promoted very well in this country.
I like Glory back in the day as well.
Here's the thing, and this is why I have a little bit of a gripe with MMA fans as well, because MMA fans will go, "Oh, why is he wrestling? Why is he taking him down?" I'm like, bro, you've got a whole Glory kickboxing franchise you could watch, but you choose not to.
Yeah, Glory back in the day. Glory back in the day, the Crow Cop era and stuff like that was Alistair Overeem and all that was phenomenal. They were arguably the best mixed martial artists in a way, the Glory fighters. Yeah. I know they didn't have the grand game, but their stand up was just no one could touch their stand up.
No,
in Glory.
Elite.
I will say this, right? I don't believe UFC was ever better than Pride Fighting Championships when Pride Fighting Championships was a thing. I don't think UFC was ever better.
I'd say they only got better when they took over Strikeforce.
When they took over Strikeforce and got some of their talent.
Yeah.
Obviously, UFC had some big fights with Liddell and Couture and Liddell and Tito and the Tito Shamrock rivalries and stuff like that. Good rivalries, yeah. It ain't a patch on what Pride FC were doing at the time. Nowhere. It couldn't even touch it.
Yeah.
It was the best MMA organisation of all time to this day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, they had their problems with people we won't mention.
We don't
want to get
that drama at all.
So UFC bought them for a snippet of the price and then got all their video. Basically, bought them for a few fighters and the video backlog.
Well, they basically did to Pride what WWE did to WCW, right?
And now, I've always said it. If there's things I could change about UFC, I'd literally bring in Pride rules. Like I listen to a lot of former UFC fighters, and some UFC fighters are a bit older now, talking on podcasts and all that, and they always say they would have loved Pride rules in UFC, man.
Yeah, I think most
absolutely loved it. Yellow cards if you're wasting time on the floor, not trying to fight, just hugging. For 1 minute, first round is 10 minutes, and you work your way down, and I think it makes for a better spectacle, man. But
do you think the UFC is dying a slow death?
It will never die, really, but
define dying now.
The thing is, though, what other unless you're the hardcore, whatever MMA organisation you go watch.
Yo, Calvin's in the chat. He must know we've been speaking about his boy Johnny Bones.
Calvin.
Cal, I've not been saying nothing bad about Jones, bro. I was playing devil's advocate.
I just look at UFC right now and I'm like, it is so stale. It's so flat. Yes, every now and then they'll have a killer pay-per-view, gets talked about, and then the following pay-per-views on. Jesus Christ. Like the last pay-per-view was atrocious. Let's be fair here.
But Jay, everything you're saying, I was speaking to Calvin about this a couple of weeks ago, so it's like really good that he's in the chat. Calvin was saying the exact same thing. He was like, he watches it obviously because he's an MMA fan, but he finds the product's stale, it's boring, and we say it won't die, and maybe it will never die. But boys, let's not forget what WWE was before Vince left and Triple H took over.
Yeah,
like everyone was fed up with it. Everyone was looking at like what is going on, what's the direction.
Everything.
But the difference is, I don't see Dana going.
No, he just don't want to. He's got too much invested in this, man.
And this is why I fear for the UFC, because if he doesn't go, but he's not putting in that same effort and that same drive that he once had,
you can tell that he doesn't like.
He's gonna drive people. Let's be honest, guys. This year alone, we missed out on Valentina and Weili. Still could happen, but we missed out on that.
That better be the next fight. It has to be.
The rumor for featherweight is that it's not going to be Yair Rodriguez versus Diego Lopez. Them two almost fought at a press conference, and there's a UFC Mexico coming up. They've put UFC Mexico on the same night as Crawford Canelo, which basically means more people are going to watch Crawford Canelo. Jones and Aspinall isn't happening. Topuria Makhachev isn't happening. We still don't know what's going on with Shavkat. If Hamzat loses, they're in even more trouble, in my opinion.
What what massive fights have we actually got to look forward to then in the next year? Because Ilya, if things gone up to 170 and he wins the 170 title, he's obviously going to stay there for a while. Ilya's got to prove himself at 155.
It's difficult
And
to answer that, Jay, because we're hardcore. So we look forward to Ilya
Aspenol, Jon
versus
Jones,
Cole.
that's it, really.
But yeah, in terms of super
Pereira,
fights, there's no
Aspenol.
super.
Pereira,
See,
Aspenol, maybe.
If Pereira had beat Ankalaev, I'd say that's a super fight. Now I don't see it as a super fight.
I don't think Pereira beat Ankalaev.
Hamzat wins and Makhachev wins. Islam drops down. No, Hamzat drops down to 70. Islam versus Shemaev.
I don't think Hamzat will ever drop back down. Even Hamzat at 70, they missed a trick there, man. You could have given him a title shot and then let him win
the
that
lighter
belt.
divisions. Pantoja doesn't want to move up. Marab doesn't want to move up.
There's too many boring champions.
I
hate to say it.
Even with the whole product itself, like the tickets are way overpriced. The stadiums aren't full.
They can't sell out no more because of the company.
You can't sell out no more.
Look, we said this last month. We said this last show, didn't we? Yeah, the card weren't great, but if the company's hot, the tickets would sell.
Yeah.
It don't even if the card's not great,
and you could still fill it out. Like, what's more important, dropping the price to let everyone?
just no.
Yeah.
How many of the champions? Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. How many of the champions in UFC right now, all the champions they got in UFC, how many of them are marketable?
All right, let's do the women's division. So at 115,
I don't think any of the women are marketable.
Weili's marketable, but only in Asia.
Yeah, I love Valentina, but let's be fair here, Valentina don't sell tickets, does she?
Juliana Pena don't sell tickets.
Pena and Kayla don't sell. All right, so that's the women's division's gone.
Pantoja don't sell
tickets. It's not their fault. By the way, it's not their fault.
No, it's not their fault. Pantoja doesn't. Marab's starting to. So that's one.
Marab's my guy.
Yeah. 45.
Volk.
Yes, I'll go yes for Volk. Only because he's got his YouTube and his other platforms that he's building. I'm gonna go Volk, yes. 55, there's no champion at the moment, but Islam was a draw.
Yeah.
70, no.
Hey, Calvin,
look, I know Calvin's here with Jon Jones, but you can't market Jon Jones because of his previous outside the octagon.
Tell that to Dana, bro.
So you can't market him like that. Like you should be able to market him. Ton Aspinall, you can market, but they don't care. You look at the women,
don't care.
You look at the women, yeah. You got Kayla Harrison, who don't look like any other woman, yeah, right?
She's a gold medalist.
She's Olympic a gold medalist in judo.
I'm not gonna lie. If she comes out and's popped, I wouldn't go, oh my god, that's scandalous.
No. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, yeah, it makes sense. But at the moment, if she's not, you could literally go over it and go, she should be so marketable. The way she looks different. She looks like a powerhouse. She looks like a female Brock Lesnar. You should be marketing the shit out of her.
Even
Juliana Pena. Sorry to cut you, Luke. Juliana Pena.
She's great on the mic.
Great on the mic. If I'm not mistaken, she's the first mum to become a UFC champion as well.
Yeah.
Single mother at that as well. Trains with Bilal. Like, these people have all got backstories, but they don't promote it. The countdown's not enough.
They don't care, man.
Countdown is not enough. Remember they did remember this was a fight night. Till versus Masvidal. They did a route. Do you remember when they did the face off of that round the table with Adam? I think it was Adam Catterall. How much that they're both sitting there, no bad vibes between each other, but they were both like, look, I respect him. I want to tear his face off. Like Masvidal's like, I've just come out the jungle doing this reality TV show. I'm more motivated than ever. And Till's a great guy, but he's just in my way. And look what I did for Masvidal's careur.
Yeah, he went on to be a superstar. Let's face it,
superstar.
This is the one thing I would change if I was Dana White. If Dana White got sacked, and they went and employed Jamie Phillips as the promoter of UFC. These are the things I would change.
Right, we're back.
These are the things. So these are the things I would change about it. There'd be a 165 division.
Yeah.
And I would have an unlimited weight on heavyweight, not a 265
Yeah,
limit.
yeah.
An unlimited weight because the name's in the title, guys.
Heavyweight.
Heavyweights. I would have no limit there. Fight nights would all be free on YouTube
Yeah,
because it's where the casual fans are. Yeah, at the moment, casual fans don't watch
There
UFC.
be no fight nights in the Apex.
No Apex no more.
It's only
I'd
Contender
go
Series.
in small arenas. I would look around North America and go into the small arenas, maybe like arenas that fit 2,000 or 3,000 people. You
yeah.
get a nice atmosphere, hardcore fans making a lot of noise, drum
Similar
up.
like what
You know,
boxing does with York Hall, right?
yeah, you put some good lighting on it, and you get the fight nights live on YouTube.
Yeah.
So a casual audience is going on UFC's homepage, and you go, "It's fight night this month. That's what's your free show." You get to learn about people. I'd also bring back for every single title main event in pay-per-views. I'd bring back the a round table scenario
Yeah.
where you can have Dana or someone or Jamie, whoever it is, in the middle of them, and they have discussions. You do that for every title fight, or if it's a pay-per-view without a title. And this is another thing I would do as well. Not every single pay-per-view needs a title in it. You can do
Yeah.
super fights without titles. You can do money fights. So you could have Pereira versus a catchweight fight for one night only. Pereira and a heavyweight headlining a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
People will watch it because and if you put investment into it, you build it up. Pereira's first ever heavyweight fight, and he's fighting so and so. You put a lot behind it. And then I'd bring back a 24-hour camera service where you hire a production team to follow around certain people every month. You pick some certain fighters that people might not know about, and you follow them around for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in a little mini series, getting to learn about these fighters, what they're about, their history, their lifestyle. And so the people that are watching UFC know who that is. And then I would bring out a UFC magazine.
Okay.
I'd bring out a UFC. I would create a UFC magazine, hence the Ring magazine, right?
Yeah.
Where you do articles on fighters, you learn about fighters, you put some stories in there, you put some, and things like that, so people can pick that up, and you do it digitally, so people can find it on any kind of digital platform and read about things like that, and change the UFC in that kind of way. Look, that's how I would go about it, and I think that would start getting more people into the product, learning about these fighters. Because if I went to my dad tomorrow and I went, "Oh, it's Valentina versus Shevchenko versus Wei Lee tomorrow, Dad." He'd be like, "Who the fuck are they?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Here, Dad, I'm going to give you it's a 2-hour YouTube show that UFC have put on. You go learn everything about them. We go show you some fights they've had. You go see the backstory before they got the UFC. You go learn a little bit about them, why they're fighting. Here you go." Do they do that? No, they don't.
They just don't put any thought into it. Maybe things change if they go onto Netflix. Maybe we're having that little lull at the moment because
I just think they take the money and continue doing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't see much changing, and until Dana steps down, it's going to be a rinse and repeat. Unfortunately,
CJ, they need to push their UFC. Sorry again to cut you, Luke. The UFC app. UFC
no one knows it's a thing. No one knows it's a thing
because the app's dead.
I've got it. Do you know the only reason I got it?
To see what the fights.
No, so I can watch all the Pride events.
Yeah.
Even the stuff to change, obviously we do our watch-alongs with no commentary. Well, I do with the smallest amount of volume. The commentary has to change. Yeah. The commentary has to change. We need to bring in commentators that have no affiliation with the UFC, no affiliation with these fighters, because you can't get a true unbiased commentary. Because I listen back to the main event with the full volume on. My goodness, if you were if you were a new fan watching that, you'd be thinking, how the fuck did Jack Della Maddalena win?
Yeah, it's extremely.
The commentary made it sound like Belal had the Canelo hands out.
It's so. Yeah,
It's
I watched.
tiring.
Did you watch Fight Night the other night?
Yeah,
I didn't.
nice
Right.
Morales.
I love the English commentator with the bow
Oh,
tie.
Brendan
I can't
Pickford.
remember
John
his name.
Gooden.
He
Oh, is
shits
that
all
John
over.
Gooden? Yeah.
He shits all over Anik. He's a
All right.
far.
Yeah, Annex a catchphrase machine. I
Can I
realised this
Can I
now.
take both of your ideas and can I raise it to the next level?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Why not have influencers do their version of commentary in the set, and then the viewer can pick and choose who they want to listen to?
Oh, like Amazon.
Basically,
do it.
like True Geordie does with the boxing.
Yeah, with the boxing stuff as well. Yeah, Jay, and Amazon. Yeah, precisely, Luke.
I think UFC just started doing it, ain't they?
Yeah, I know they do watch-alongs.
Yeah.
But even the watch longs, they're not consistent either.
No.
And I'll be honest, our watch long kind of rivals theirs in terms of like quality and all that. Like they don't do,
does.
like their watch longs aren't like you watch them and you're thinking this is the UFC. Like there's no
Are you sure those
like,
guys fought before?
there's no like. Remember, if it's the UFC doing the watch long, they should have all the bells and whistles. Like we can't listen to sound. They should be able to have sound on theirs and show like
If you-
replays and stuff. They can't do
This
none
is
of
like
that.
Dennis Pulver in his in his office.
Yeah. I would. They could do so much more, man. They really could. I mean, do
But
you
not
remember
even
the
that much
Premier League?
investment.
Do you remember the Premier League when they had fans from
Yeah.
Fanzone, when they had fans from
Yeah.
different teams commentating? It was hilarious. And people,
Yeah.
it got so popular that's the reason they got rid of it, because it got
Yeah.
too popular and no
Yeah.
one was listening to the normal
That was
commentary.
almost fan YouTube before fan YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
can you imagine if UFC did something like that, a fan zone for UFC, and they
never
just
would.
picked like you could put your application into the UFC website, and they have obviously you'd have to be vetted. They have to vet you
Yeah.
to make sure you're not like a complete nimrod or an arsehole,
Yeah.
or go do something mad, and then you can commentate on a watch along in the fan zone for UFC, and people could tune into it. Just, you know what, a little change like that where people got a bit like the customer. Let's face it, that's what they think we are, customers.
Yeah.
The customer then has a choice. He can go, do you know what, Anik does my nutting. I can't do any more of
You
DC.
can't do that because Ant will be out of the job.
Let's press this other button, the red button, orange button, whatever it is, and I'll get the fan zone. I'm just creasing up listening to these guys, because you might get a massive Pereira fan who's just Pereira, that he's just mental about Pereira. He's not having it in the other guy, and they're just fighting and arguing. And you're balled in with laughter, you're loving it, you're enjoying the show, you're eating, you're drinking, and it's a great time. Because then the customer, as they see us, has got more involved in the product, but they don't care about us. As long as you're sitting on our ass watching, that's all they care.
Shall I tell you what the issue is with that is, Jay? Is again, agree with you both. Dana's just gonna pick people who are his favorites to do that.
Yeah,
I know you don't like her. It's gonna be Nina Drama and other people who like.
Nina already does it. She does the watch alongs for Slap. Nina and Dana do it together. So obviously you got, because I'm a slapper. So that's what they call us.
Yeah.
At the moment, I know you guys don't watch Slap, but I'm going to tell you right now, Dana promotes Slap far more than he promotes. I know so much about the Slap fighters because they do programs about them. They do history about them.
Yeah.
He promotes them better than he promotes UFC fighters. And when you go in the UFC, because if you can watch, if you go on WWE's YouTube channel, because they're the same company, you can watch UFC off there as well. But when it's Slap, the Slap is literally on WWE's YouTube channel. They have a different watch along with different people. And on UFC's YouTube page, it's Dana White and Nina doing commentary on Slap. Or it's Bisping. Or it's Bisping as well. I'm calling you a slapper.
Makes me feel ill, man. Like, I'll buy a DC. I take DC off commentary, man. It does my head in.
I think you need to stop DC eating.
If it's AKA fighters on the card, get DC off comms. Sorry, Carl. I'm keeping the same energy consistent.
The problem is people like DC and stuff like that. They got too much bias against certain fighters, and it doesn't come off well on commentary.
Yeah, like wasn't DC like, I think it was one of the MAGA Madoff team, and the guy had a particular name. Was it Abu Bakar Magomedov or something like that.
Yeah,
And
like,
DC was calling him his nickname, and commentary was like, DC, yeah, like that's not his name, yeah. So,
that
oh
means
yeah,
he knows
sorry,
him
that's
too
just his
well.
nickname. We
Means
call
he
him in the
knows him
gym.
too well. Yeah, he knows him.
Like, DC, you know him too well, man. Like, you can't.
I'm going to say this now: the UFC commentary has never been better than when it was Goldie and Rogan.
Calvin says that as well.
Goldie and Rogan is still the UFC's best ever
All
commentary.
right, but are we saying that are we being nostalgia merchants when we say
No,
that?
no, I listen to Anik and his shit every
What
fucking
is it
month.
about Anik you dislike?
He's a pussy. He comes across like a crybaby arse bandit. That's what he comes across. I can't stand him. Every time he talks, he's like, he sounds like he has no knowledge of the sport and he's just read a textbook. That's what he sounds like. He literally sounds like
Is it his voice then? Is it his voice that annoys you? Is it just everything?
everything about him. DC takes 2 cameras up. It's just I can't. I can't be doing it no more. I really can't be doing it. Joe Rogan turns up when he wants now because Rogan's realised he makes more money doing his own watch along
Yeah,
from
that's
home,
true.
so he doesn't need to
He doesn't
travel anymore.
turn up to Canada. Doesn't even bother to.
Dominic Cruz is a nice guy, but I've seen Ryvita more exciting than Dominic Cruz.
He's got the knowledge, but not the passion.
I see.
Paul
Jay.
Felder,
I
Paul
like
Felder is the best one. Paul
Yeah, I like
Felder,
Felder.
the English guy with the dicky bow.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah,
Gooden, yeah, and Dan Hardy used to be the best commentary team.
Bring back. Do you know what?
They were the best
I
commentary
know
team.
he's at PFL now. Get Dan Hardy back. Oh, I miss Dan Hardy, man.
Hashtag Hardy back. Or hashtag get Dan Hardy back.
His breakdowns were so good.
What do you guys think of Mauro Ranallo? I wouldn't have him as a. I've listened to some of his stuff. He's a bit like Anik. He's got his catchphrases. He's got the "Mamma Mia." Like, come on! Like, I want a bit of analysis, not the "Mamma Mia" catchphrase.
I think Mauro Ranallo works perfect in WWE.
Mauro Ranallo and it's got out of my head. Who's
Bass Rutten?
Bass Rutten at Pride were fantastic together.
Do you know what? Bass Rutten was another.
Bass
Where's
Rutten,
Bass Rutten, man?
Bass Rutten's just beating people up in the streets for no reason. That's what Bass
No, Jay. Bass Rutten on commentary would bang.
Him and Ranallo on Pride used to be out of this world. They used to be fantastic.
Do you know how much knowledge Bass Rutten has? Even someone like Din Thomas. I don't know if do you guys ever get to watch the weigh-in show as well?
Yeah. I like Din
No,
Thomas.
I don't watch it. I don't watch the weigh-in show.
I use Din Thomas for just little snippets here and there. He's better at that.
Do you know the weigh-in show is actually quite a vibe? I'm not even going to lie to you. It's actually quite a vibe.
Sometimes it's better in the show.
So apparently, this is just I've literally just seen a clip. This is not like a bomb or anything. Makhachev reveals that he was in talks with the PFL to fight Higuchi, but then he's seen the news he signed back with the UFC. So
even that get Makhachev
sign Makhachev back, man. Like, I've seen fighters cut for a lot worse than
Makhachev. Dana hates him though, don't he? That's the problem.
Yeah,
Dana hates him. But the problem is, like Guru said in that interview, he said with Makhachev, just make him the ultimate bad guy. You need shits. Put the storyline around him. You hate him. Good. You're meant to hate him. Let's go for it. It drives people
people want to pay money to tickets to see him lose.
Yes, it's the whole point. Build him up as a heel. Build him up as a heel. We all wanted to see Chuck Liddell absolutely destroy Tito back in the day. We wanted it. We begged for it, and then we saw it, and we were so happy.
Well, Jon Jones playing the ultimate heel. I love the weigh-in show. The weigh-in show is so bad. It's so bad.
Oh, I love the weigh-in show.
I don't watch it because when they do like the top 5, I'm like, oh, what have you guys like watched like MMA at all? With some of the picks that you're
some of the picks.
Oh yeah, I get that.
My head hurt. Like DC, man. I swear you've got better fight knowledge than that. Laura Sanko, you've got better fight knowledge than some of the stuff you say.
I don't think Laura Sanko has, to be fair.
Do you know what? I actually don't. I quite like Laura Sanko.
Laura Sanko's just all cake.
You don't rate her commentary?
She's all cake, mate.
That's a hell of a cake.
She's That's all she is, man. It's all cake, man. Still Kate. Eat your way out of it.
I like Laura Sanko. I think she's
Where was that? Pause.
Eat your way out of it.
Hold on, even that. Speaking out of women, Jay, you said what was the name of the WWE pay-per-view that was all women?
Evolution.
Are you telling me in 2025
You still have not had an all-female card?
There's not enough star power for that.
But it doesn't need, bruv, a 10-fight card. We can't just do it all for like International Women's Day or Mother's Day or something.
You should
just get the buzz going around it.
International Women's Day. If you could argue even a fight night, you don't have to do it as a pay, just as a fight night. You put on a heavy female card, yeah, just so much cake. Do you know how much people will watch that?
Yeah,
you get so many pervs watching it. Firstly, and
then you also get so many women who want to be inspired and just be like, "Rather
you could put on some good fights. You could put on some good fights. There's women there, man. To put on some good fights. All right, you use them all in one event and you don't see them again for a few months. But
no, but we say that though. Like, all right, let's say for example, let's say it was a fight night. You could do like Rose Namajunas versus someone in the main event, not non-champions.
Yeah.
You've got other again, they're not big stars, but you got other names in there, like obviously a Mackenzie Dern's a big name. Like some of these women who aren't champions aren't necessarily going to get the next title shot, but are big enough names that you can just put out there. Just do it once, because then you're still saving your champions, you're still saving your contenders, and you're still saving a few other women for prelims and earlier down in the card as well.
I would love them to do that. Do you know, I don't actually mind the Contender Series.
That's the one thing I can't get to watch very often.
I don't mind the Contender Series. But again, this goes back to UFC. Do you remember? I know it's shit now because it's crap now.
Yeah, tough.
But the first 4 or 5, 6 toughs were just must watch. Look at who came out in the first Tough House.
Yeah.
Look at all the stars, the 2 head coaches, then the second one. Look at the fourth one, the fifth one, the Bisping. Like there was so much talent there that came through that, and you got to know so many fighters. So when they all got signed up UFC, you're hyped because you know everything about them already.
Not just that, guys. Yeah. Who's the 2 coaches this time?
Who I don't even know. There is one. Is there one?
Chael and DC.
Why?
2 people that can't fight each other. 2 people who do a show together and are very good friends.
So it's pointless.
Exactly.
So it's pointless.
Well, let's be honest. When was the last time someone had the tough enough match? Not tough enough. Fucking hell.
Tough.
On the fight that fought. Was it Grasso versus Shevchenko? We're still waiting to see the outcome of Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor. Are we getting that or what?
Yeah.
These coaches don't fight no more. That's the thing, isn't it?
If I'm not mistaken, Conor's the only one to have done
2
on the fighter and not fought the person he's coached against.
It's Conor.
That's so true. That's so true.
They just got Conor on there because they know it'd be a draw. That's all it was.
And it was. It was, to be fair. Such a shame. Boys, let's pivot on to the last 2 subjects. Won't keep you too long. Firstly, the welterweight division. Michael Morales absolutely destroyed Gilbert Burns at the weekend.
Yeah, it was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gilbert Burns on the way to getting cut, you know.
Obviously, you've got Buckley and Usman soon as well. Oof. Islam just moved up to 170. 170. All right. So let's read out some of the names. You've got Shavkat. You've got JDM. Brady. Yeah, go for it, Luke.
So I've got Jack as champ.
I think welterweight's the most exciting at the moment.
Allow number 1, Sean Brady number 2, Shavkat number 3, Leon number 4, Usman number 5, Ashado Gary number 6, Buckley number 7, Michael Morales number 8, Colby number 9, 10 Gilbert Burns, and then it's Jeff Neal 11, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at 12.
Colby's still number 9.
Carlos Prates at 13, Vicente Luque at 14, and Michael Venom Page at 15. That is probably the most.
That's a division where the title could roll quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, roll, plenty of fights. I have to.
A lot of stand-up fights as well,
because I listened to an interview with Ali Abdelaziz about when Hunter flew over.
Is that Brett Okamoto?
No, it was with someone else, and he said Islam will 100% fight for the welterweight title this year. if Jack gets injured, Jack gets stripped. Islam is not fighting for no interim welterweight title. He's fighting for the full belt. So if Jack Della Maddalena is injured, then he is getting stripped of that belt. And then he'll be on the line against Islam. And
I don't
because
see Jaden
Ali
getting
says that the UFC have never broken broken a promise with us.
Yeah, the first for everything. At the
Not
end of the day, Islam's getting a title shot. I have a few reservations on Islam getting an automatic title shot at 70. And I say the same with Khabib as well. Islam and Khabib are phenomenal fighters, especially Islam. Islam's my guy. I just don't think the resumes are as great as people make out for both fighters. I genuinely don't, especially when you add in context. I just don't think the resumes are as great. Like
Well,
which
Makhachev.
resume am I pulling up first? Am I pulling up Islam's resume?
Well, Islam is against an old guy in Volk twice, ain't it? The first fight is very thingy because of
the Oliveira win,
hydration.
the Oliveira win and the Dan Hooker wins, they've aged really well. The
Yeah,
Bobby Green win hasn't aged well.
yeah. The thing is, he's still dominant in these fights, though, ain't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, but Moicano was on a day's notice, and Moicano's ranked 11 in the division, bro.
Yeah, but Makhachev was never beating him, was he? That was just.
So yeah, like I don't think we'd be going crazy if Pantoja beat number 11 in the division handily, or like.
No, Pantoja went up. His resume in his division.
Yeah.
He's beaten everyone, hasn't he?
So since Islam got knocked out by Adriano Martins, he's beaten Chris Wade, Nick Lenz, Glenson Tebow, Cajun Johnson, Sarukian, Davy Ramos, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, Charles Oliveira, Alexander Volkanovski twice, Dustin Poirier, and then Renato Moicano.
He ain't the greatest CV in the world, is it?
No.
That's not the greatest CV.
And the Volk fight is when he's fighting a smaller guy twice as well.
Yeah.
And Volk's
prime Volk as
fight
well.
on 10 days notice. 10 days notice.
Yeah, and Makhachev was his last fight in that division.
Yeah.
To get a title shot going away up.
And I have to say, I have watched that fight back because I wanted the double check. Just 100%. Moicano dropped him. I watched that back. Moicano drops him on short notice. I thought, because when we watched it, I thought, no, he slipped. He slipped. Watched it again. He catches him. And Islam gets the jelly legs. And then that's when afterwards, he put no more striking. We're going for the takedown now.
Yeah.
So here's my take on Ilya going up. I'm starting to wonder.
Him going up as well. I still got my gripe.
I'm still wondering if Ilya have the power at 155. Now, when you're a big 145er and you're more powerful than most people in that division, the difference is today a lot of 155ers walk around at 170, 180. Now, I know Ilya says he walks around at 190, which I don't know if I believe or not, because he's only 5'4". Is this a massive gamble by Ilya?
Yes.
Because it's not forgotten that he goes and just destroys that. He could easily, like, punching a 145ers who can make 135 or things like that. And so a lot of 145ers can't make 155. So punching them guys and and you taking their shots is a lot different to going up fighting a 155er who probably spar with 170, 185ers.
Look at Davidson Figueiredo.
Yeah, they're taking bigger shots of powerful guys at more of a level than Ilya has done in his career.
Yeah.
So does Ilya's power connect at 155 to like a lot of these 155ers? Can they actually take Ilya's power because they're so used to getting hit by fighters who are a lot bigger than Ilya for a longer time? And then can Ilya take the power of 155ers?
Connor's power should break to 55.
I actually think it's a big gamble from Ilya. And I don't think the Charles Oliveira fight is all that straightforward either.
I'll be honest, I actually think Oliveira fight is a worse stylistic matchup for him than the Islam
I have
fight.
to say, so we're talking about Ilya making that jump, a big, powerful hitter at 145, and Conor McGregor. Would you say that Conor, apart from the Eddie Alvarez fight, do you think Conor's power translated well at 55?
It did, to be fair.
The
It
thing
did.
at 145, Conor was a skeleton at 145.
Yeah, yeah. Ilya wasn't a skeleton. Ilya looked
Ilya
like
was
an actual
bloated. He was,
45.
you could see the water in his body. He was bloated at 45.
Yeah.
But when you look at McGregor at 145, he was a skeleton, wasn't he?
He looked like he was dying on the scales.
Yeah.
It was actually scary. When you go back and look at pictures of Conor at 45, it's actually
horrible.
scary to look at.
Yeah. And and Conor weren't really, I don't think Conor was an extremely powerful puncher. It was more of technique and timing with Conor.
Accuracy, yeah.
You know, and his accuracy, you know, he always said it, timing and accuracy trumped power. That's what Conor always said.
Yeah, I've got
But
Ilya
relies on his power, don't he?
Good. It's not looking good. I've got
Had-
Khabib's record. It's not looking good. But
No, and be
Well,
right.
Ilya's left his training team.
Yeah, why?
No idea, but
I think because they live in different locations in Spain and stuff, I couldn't really commit as much.
they're the people that brought him to the dance, man.
Moving up a weight, getting rid of the gym that made you.
Yeah, it's a recipe. So it's not a recipe for success.
I mean, really, if there's a fighter who can do it, it's going to be Ilya out of all the fighters that I know of. But
is he trying to cash his checks early?
Yeah, it looks like it. I reckon Ilya. I don't think Ilya fights for that long, you know. He's
Neither.
quite a clever guy, and I believe Ilya was very well off before he started fighting.
Very well off. Very well off.
He doesn't really need it.
Look at his home gym.
Yeah, he doesn't really need it.
Cryo thingamabob.
Yeah,
in his house. Got a full gym.
He doesn't really need this game, does he, Ilya? So
he doesn't.
I don't know how long it is to fight, man.
Yeah.
And it would to go back down to 145. It's going to look a bit. It's not going to be a good look for him, is it?
And I have to say, I do feel like that he didn't really clean out the division because people.
No, he didn't.
Calling
not
Islam
all.
Duck for ducking the
But
Topuria.
he did beat the top two though, and that's something Islam's not done. Islam hasn't done that.
But he has arguably sort of avoided probably the bogeyman of that division in Mozart Evloev, who is undefeated.
Islam did that with Sarukian. I know he'll say he beat Sarukian. Even the Sarukian fight where he won back in the day, Sarukian took that and won on a few days' notice, and in his debut, like Islam's resume, when you actually add context, it isn't as great as people make out, in my opinion.
A lot of thinking of Islam, though, if he doesn't win the welterweight title, I think a lot of people will start.
He's going to come down and go, "I want my belt back."
Yeah, but a lot of people have conversations going, "Hang on, you moved up when Ilya moved up to your division."
Yeah,
it makes it look like you're and I don't think he is trying to not fight Ilya. I think he would fight him if he wanted to, but I'm not saying he's running away from him. But that's got to be the perception of it, because it's not like you cleaned out your division. You keep moaning about that you fought a lot of 145s at 155, but the 155s you've actually fought have been very late notice fights.
Yeah.
So,
oh boys, what can we say? People, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Felt like a therapy session today. Smash that like button. Yeah, smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to Jamie's and Luke's channel. Jay, you got anything coming out?
No, at the closet. I'm still in Narnia, man. No. Yeah. So Wednesday, I think I'm going to be with Drifty doing the cup final.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm with Drift.
I might be gate crashing that one.
Yeah, it'd be a good one to do, man. And then on Thursday we've got our copy show, ain't we?
Vibes.
Yeah.
So Luke, you'll be on with Drift and Jay tomorrow as well, yeah?
I think Matt's going to be there as well. It's going to be a party, I think.
Possibly.
Decent. If I can,
maybe get some more Verts news. I don't know.
It's going to, and obviously if anything breaks tomorrow, I'll probably go live.
Of course, yeah. We're all on standby at the moment.
Yeah, that's just it's going to be. It's going to be
Indeed.
bad.
The question is the cow curse getting broken this summer? That's all I need to know.
If it does, then it's going to be a party all summer, bro. Smoke for the summer.
Rope scenes.
Oh, crazy work it's going to be. Crazy work. I'll be dropping another video tomorrow called Fixing the Featherweights, because it feels like the featherweight division is being left behind at the moment by UFC. So dropping a pre-recorded video tomorrow. Yeah, they should do that. There's some great
small guys don't sell. Demetrius Johnson says this all the time. Dana never got behind them because he didn't believe they sold.
Yeah, Dana's too old school, man. Dana's too old school. Floyd was 147 pounds and became the richest combat athlete in the world.
The smaller guys in boxing are the most exciting.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Yeah. So yes, people, big love to you all. Smash that like button. Subscribe to all channels, Jamie's, Luke, and this one here. And it's been another one, people. Make sure you look out for that video tomorrow. Boys, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. And until we see you again, people, take care.